Hello, beautiful Pisces souls, and welcome to the Pisces Tarot forecast for November 2025. I have taken such a large break in between doing these videos that I was like, I don't even remember how I do this. But I do. I do. So we're just gonna jump into it because I am attempting to make so many videos every day. Um, but how are you guys doing? Grab a beverage, sit back, relax, and welcome to this reading. You've already manifested receiving a free reading on November by listening to this video, so it's clear to say that your manifestations are working. In personal videos, like if you got your own tarot forecast, I do sort of break it up into like three different parts where it's like, okay, this is what the cards, well, usually, like this is what the cards say, this is what the stars say, and this is what the spirits have to say. I think actually, like in the future, I think like looking at the stars, like I also offer an astrology forecast, is a lot better because it's like, okay, this is what I see in the stars, then there are confirmed by the cards, and this is what like my spirit guides and everybody's like trying to tell me and everything like that. Um, but so I usually do try to incorporate like current astrology, transits, Mercury retrograde, whatever is going on at that time. And I have not checked that before starting this video, but the one thing that's been on my mind, especially for Pisces, is the Pisces retrograde back into Saturn, or the Saturn retrograde back into Pisces. Which I haven't necessarily been fearing. It's just sort of like, it just sort of feels like Pisces is in jail. You know what I mean? It's like you thought you were out of jail, and then it was like, okay, just kidding, 6 more months. You know what I mean? Because that's how I view Saturn. It's like limitations. You might be dealing with like a health issue, and you think it's over, like bursitis or something in your hip, and then it just like pops right back up, and it's another 6 months of feeling very like debilitated and limited. But let's see if these cards don't offer some advice to get over, how to get over, how to survive, how to circumvent, how to supersede and surpass, which is like my Kronos, God of War energy, where I'm like, okay, I'm a wholehearted believer in astrology. Read horoscopes every day. Haven't in a while, but read my horoscope every day. And it's like, astrology would be like, you're screwed. I'm like, I know it. And then I look at my cards to see, like, how can I make the best out of bad planetary alignments? How can I survive toxic transits? And all those types of things. And so the first thing we're going to look at is what I would say it's like the Aries energy. It's your self-esteem. We got the Ten of Cups here. Ten of Cups, very Pisces card. And this is the thing, though, too, sometimes with asking the tarot for advice, is that sometimes you do need the advice of another person. So if I'm doing like an advice spread and I see in the advice position like a court card or something, it's like, how do I get this new job? And it's like Queen of Swords. Like you got to talk to some Libra lady or something. Queen of Swords. Awesome. Queen of Swords right in the sixth house. So maybe someone's trying to get a job somewhere. Some Queen of Swords are going to help you. But it's like, oh, you need to go talk to her. But if you're doing a reading and it's like, okay, I need a new job, I need a wetsuit to go scuba diving. How do I get that? And then you see like the King of Cups or the Page of Cups, and it's like, or Ten of Cups, and it's like, just be yourself. And it's just like, okay, well, I'm doing that my whole life, no wetsuit to go scuba diving, but if you say so, you know what I mean? So I don't know if you guys are trying to become like scuba instructors, just be yourself and it will all work out because someone will be like, you're naturally adept for this. But anyway, okay, so your self-esteem, Ten of Cups, be happy. Fake that, don't fake it until you make it, but I guess like fake the happiness until you make it. Especially if you're an entrepreneurial Pisces, it's like, if you worked at Claire's or at Best Buy or any other company that's like defunct and going bankrupt right now, which is, should be an affirmation that you're right to be so entrepreneurial, is that, if you work there, you're not getting paid every day. You're not a waiter. You know what I mean? Like you're not getting tips every day. So, if there are days where you're like tank is on E, mentally, physically, spiritually, automotive, vehicle-y. It's definitely rough, but you will survive and you'll make it to the next day, and not every day will be a $0 sales day. And with like certain restaurants and things like that, like you have to understand, like there are like, especially at this time, there are enormous entities like KFC, your local juice bar, your local coffee shop that are struggling. So not to say that that's like it's now okay for you to struggle because all these other people are struggling, but it's like you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not a failure. And there's another affirmation I've been using this terms of like finances and success and entrepreneurialship, whatever. Being an entrepreneur, is that was Mother Teresa successful? Ask yourself that. Was Mother Teresa successful? Was she popular? Was she rich? And are all those things connected? If you got a rise in Cancer and you got Leo in the second house and you're not popular, okay, you're a total failure. You know what I mean? But, if you got rising Leo and you're born popular and you don't need to do anything about it and you end up as someone as a pariah, that's just your life and you're successful at least at being a pariah, right? Pariah Carrie. So that's your self-esteem. Shut up and get happy. Go camping. Go spend some time in nature. Connect with your family. But it's more so like your soul family, like more like hippie tribe. Like, what do you call them? All gifts from heaven above. Not Sandlot. I have to say the wrong things first, and then the right thing comes out. Godspell, like Godspell. Your hippie friends. You don't have to dress, to the nines. You just kind of like chill, relax, have a bonfire. For your finances in the month of November 2025, we have the Knight of Wands. So Knight of Wands is like somebody who's like either really has a lot of passion for you. His passion can be like hatred, it can be like lust, it could be love. But they're from your past and they're like really jealous about some type of like camping trip that you went on, or some type of hippie family that you have, or because you are such a hippie. And the thing is, like, Aries hate hippies. So it's probably like an Aries in your life. They probably want to give you money out of some like weird, spiteful loophole of their ego. So it's like, well, if I give him money, I'm better than him for some reason, which is great. Hallelujah, I love that. But also sometimes, like, people give you gifts to inspire you to give them gifts. So don't necessarily feel inclined to return the favor to this person. But, if you need financial advice, if you need a new job, if you need someone to, like, I don't know, like, pimp out as a resource, the Knight of Wands is going to be it. Which, the crazy thing about the court cards and wands is that even though Sagittarius is a mutable energy, so maybe it's like, they're just very willing to change into anything. But, like, the Page of Wands is Sagittarius to me, the Knight of Wands is Sagittarius to me, the Queen, the King, it's all Sagittarius. Which, can't always be true. It has to be rising Aries sometimes, right? Or somebody with at least, like, a moon in Leo. So this person could be a Leo, this person could be an Aries, they could have Aries, Leo, woven deeply into their chart somewhere. But I feel like they're a Sagittarius. I always feel like they're Sagittarius. And, I see that, so your communication style, the Gemini house, the third house, the month of November, we have the Page of Pentacles here. So there's a lot of people coming in to help you, specifically financially. I mean, Saturn is sort of like a money planet, it being like it ruling Capricorn, but Pentacles, it's not always dollars and cents. I always see it as dollars and cents. Sometimes it's dollars and cents. Sometimes it's like highly coveted tradable items like tulips or Pokemon cards, or anything that has like worth and weight to another person. It could even be like drugs in certain senses, like pills. But it's like, I don't know, like it's like something about like either offering somebody bait, like you have to like bait people. Uh, like there's all these like little hobbitses and munchkins and gnomes in your life, like the peas, the gnomes, you know what I mean, like in The Sims, like you have to like sing to them, give them gifts of coffee and pie, or they will cause trouble. Usually, like, mess with your television. Uh, and I mean, I guess for now, that's like all you can really do is like talk to these hobbits, try to make things okay. Um, you might you might get a cat, you might have an interaction with a cat, you might like see a black cat. People say black cats are bad luck, obviously, but it's like people say black cats are bad luck, but they never say that stop signs are bad luck. You know what I mean? Like when you're going through an intersection and there's a stop sign and a little kid comes by bouncing a little red ball and you don't hit him because of the stop sign. No one's always like, oh, the stop sign's bad luck, you know? Okay. So I guess like talk to a black cat. And in your fourth house of emotions and concerns, I see the Ace of Wands. So it's almost like, especially for Pisces, it's like you need something new to be sad about to inspire you. You might have been a social justice warrior fighting for Palestine, but you're like, I'm super unproductive without my Starbucks. Like, they have to find a new thing to boycott. How the hell is boycotting Starbucks going to help anybody, honestly? Like, if you want to stop the Israeli invasion of Palestine, you're gonna have to boycott you're gonna have to boycott the American government, and then B, go over there and help them. Because like anything else is just a performance. You could do a performance. You could write a whole Swan Lake and do a ballet, or write a song like Michael Jackson did about Palestine. Which girl, listen to that song. He's got a moon and rising Pisces, so I know his heart was in the right place. But listen to that song. He's like literally damning them to hell. Like he's like singing about Palestine like it's a woman, and it's just God. Sometimes I feel like they put him down like a dog, like he was just losing his mental faculties or something. But check the song out. Don't listen to me being mean. But like, get re-inspired. Find something new to fight for. Find a new person to fight for. Even if it's just like a cigarette or weed or incense or candles or something. Just something to inspire you to have a goal. Like every day. Like, every day I'm gonna go out and buy a candle. I'm gonna use my own business, the money from my own business, to go buy a pack of cigarettes or something. uh, Pokemon cards, baseball cards, Ace of Wands, baseball cards, just to make myself feel good. Bubble gum, something, some little reward for yourself. But I do see the fifth house, which I always say is like your obstacles or sexy distractions, is the star card. So the star card has been talking to me about like life simulators, like The Sims. Like she's got a big like star or jewel over her head. So if your love life has been lacking, if your financial life has been lacking, if your self esteem about your body or self image has been lacking, it's probably because you're watching like too many people in the shower. Maybe you go to the gym and you've been like you don't mean to, but maybe you've been like leering at people in the gym shower. Maybe you're leering at your Sims while they shower. um, Looking at pornography and stuff, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that type of stuff. So you're like, where is my Prince Charming? Where's my man? Where's my boyfriend? Where's my girlfriend? And it's like they're just being blocked because you already have boyfriends and girlfriends on Twitter that you look at every day. Um, so also it's like, maybe there's a difficulty with showering. Maybe you feel uncomfortable showering. Maybe your shower is dirty or something like that, or you're not, whatever. But the one thing sometimes whenever I get caught in that mood, where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to take a shower, I'm too lazy, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, I just think about how life would suck if I didn't have that option and it was gone. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me do this while it's here. And before the Chinese or the Russian invade and turn off the water and the electricity, I'll at least be comfortable, today. Which is the thing, though, too, because it's like, if that, I don't, that's not part of my psychic prediction, but, whatever, who knows. Um, y- you know, you got bills to pay, you got places you want to travel, you have people that you want to see, and that's not going to come from worshiping Saturn and beating yourself. Of course you got to save and you have to be disciplined and all those things. But like not eating all day or for a week isn't going to help you increase your bottom line. It's going to make you weak and not give you the ability to have energy when you need it. like when a sale comes, you're like washing cars, if you're doing tarot readings, if you are um, doing taxidermy, if you are doing carpet installation, whatever it is that you're doing, you can't do it when you're all like hungry, emaciated, and weak. So you have to take care of yourself and shower. Oh, and then we have the Queen. I can't even see. I'm literally sitting here in the dark with my lights off, and I'm like, what does this card say? I gotta turn the light on, I guess. Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords. I was talking about. I spoke up, and then she appeared. And she's in the Virgo positioning. The time of recording is like September 1st, so this is like season of Virgo as well. So the Queen of Swords is typically a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius person. It could be a person with a rising Libra who struggles with their weight, like Anna Nicole Smith, or looks like her. It's country. I always feel like Libras give tree trunks from Adventure Time. But so it's like, I was saying, if you need advice for work, finances, someone to leave you a really good review, someone to acknowledge you, someone to accredit you, I think this Queen of Swords would be a good person to be. They might be a person that you wouldn't want to talk to. Like you might feel like you have bad blood with them, but they're willing to look and focus on the future. It might be a tough conversation. It might be an argument. They might be a total B word. But they'll help you, especially in September. And okay. And I don't know, maybe like not having talking to this person, maybe like, I don't know. I'm not an alcoholic, I guess. Or I guess I am an alcoholic. It's like even if you don't drink, you can still be an alcoholic. Not drinking is like a really big sign of being an alcoholic, actually. But for whatever reason, this person, this Queen of Swords, she is going to help lead you to being more temperate. So, if you're really frantic about paying your bills, this could be like a coworker or ex-coworker or classmate moving into your house to help cut your bills in half. And then you're no longer stressed out and panicked about, when the electric bill comes through. This is like a girlfriend, who you lie in bed with, and it's like, whatever happens, happens, and, at least I got this person. But mostly them helping you or taking their advice will lead you to sobriety. So it's like, maybe you've been drinking too much, maybe you've been smoking too much, and you can't stop. Like for me, before I recorded this video, sometimes it's like YouTube, like music, like can't stop listening to the song, can't put can't take the headphones off. But for me, sometimes I get addicted to like my, I have AC. It's not that hot where I am right now, but I love the sound of like a desk fan and like the feel of like the cool. It's like I'm on the beach, you know what I mean? It's like I'm on the beach. It's like I'm an Egyptian king being fanned by a machine. I love it. I can't stop. It was so hard to turn it off before recording this video. I was like, I don't even care about what's happening in November. This fan is everything. So maybe this person will make you feel cooler, give you some type of healing where you can turn your fan off and get back to your life, Okay, so more fun things we're attracting is Temperance and the Angel, which Temperance in the 7th house in combination with the Knight of Wands in the 2nd house once again talks to me about Sagittarius. So there could be like a Libra and a Sagittarius that want to go on a really fun, cool, awesome business venture with you. I see in your 8th house you have the King of Pentacles. So this means that that stubborn Tauruses who want to tear down Sylvia Brown on TikTok, it's like the land, like I hate. So I do the readings on Reddit, and I hate to make this like all racist and stuff. And I'm sure people of every race and color do this. But for me, in my experience, it's like white women or people who are essentially trying to debunk you. So like you're a medium, and I'm like, oh, I've been hearing ghosts in my house, and it's like, oh, I see the Pinkerings or whatever, whoever this is. And they're like, oh, well, the house, it was built last year, and like it was a landfill before that. And it's like, okay, well, they're ghosts, honey. Okay, they're ghosts, all right? Like they could be from Iowa. They fly, they float around. You don't understand because you're a human. And the thing is, like, there's going to be people in mediumship and in tarot and astrology and pendulums and tea leaves and coffee grounds and whatever that are going to, like, you've dealt with it if you do readings on Reddit where they're like, oh, it doesn't resonate. And it's like, it's not supposed to immediately, it's about the future. Which, people get other readings, and it's like, you get 10 readings, and you get the Queen of Swords in all of them, and you get another reading, and you see the Queen of Wands. That could be like a sign that the energy is not connected, or that the Queen of Swords or Queen of Wands has a mutable energy and changes her identity and persona. But so, anyway, backtrack. King of Pentacles. So this is like stubborn Taurian people who are blending more with their Scorpion energy, they're more of their 8th house energy. So it's like, okay, you might think that my tarot reading didn't resonate, you might think that my spell didn't work, but then when you are visited by a ghost yourself, when a ghost touches you or grabs your leg while you're walking down into the basement while you're doing your laundry, then you will believe. And I think that, I myself have, a lot of people are talking about aliens right now, which the Temperance card does talk about aliens, and I do see judgment, but I personally have not had any personal experiences with aliens. I've never even seen them in my dreams. But I've definitely have seen, like, angels and clowns and spirits and ghosts and people that have passed, which that could be an alien. It could be an alien possessing my mind, showing me dreams about my uncle or my best friend, trying to confuse me or something. But searching my soul and looking through my cards, I believe in ghosts. I've seen ghosts. I've touched ghosts. I've done mediumship readings. I know that ghosts are real. Aliens, I'm like 98% on aliens. 99.8%. I don't have any proof. There's no ectoplasm or slime left on my sleeve from an alien for me to be like, aliens are real and willing to fight for it. But, if I wasn't, like, and the thing is, like, I'm sure there's tons of, like, con artist mediums, but I just don't feel like Sylvia Browne is one of them. She just kind of seemed, like, exhausted from people's, like, just trying to test her and try her. You know what I mean? So go test and try a psychic medium, and then see if you're not attacked immediately by ghosts. So that's the 8th house. And then maybe you guys are under a psychic attack. Maybe you're too Taurian to believe in psychics and, and all those things. And you need, like, the ghost of some Taurus to come and, like, James Brown's ghost to come and throw a fireball at you for you to believe. Okay, so that's spooky magic, 8th house stuff. And then as we move into the 9th house, we have the Fool here. So, you might be feeling, I think a lot of people do. I think you might have, like, a lot of regrets around any type of, like, higher education or your education, whether it's that, like, I didn't finish my degree, or, I got a degree in library sciences and it's 2025. I guess, like, take the Fool's journey. Like, if you really want education, if you really want to know about tarot, if you really want to know about astrology, if you really want to know about the world and aliens and ghosts and, Mayan temples and all those things, it says to, like, just go it alone. And I guess, like, also the Fool, to me, talks about, like, connecting with an animal or, like, a familiar, like, finding a dog or some type of animal to communicate with, just to, like, reassure yourself about your psychic education, your psychic higher education. Pisces, like, do I really have telepathy? Do I really have mind control powers and abilities? It's not working on any human beings, like, I don't have anybody just, like, leaving groceries outside of my my doorstep, or just, like, randomly sending me money to my Cash App. So how are these powers working? How am I okay? How am I using telepathy and everything else? But people are stubborn, you know what I mean? Like Taurus, and, maybe there's a ghost that has to visit them first before they get keen on it. But it says, like, practice with a dog, or, like, maybe, like, a child or something. Like, your, not necessarily, like, your powers of influence, but, like, your readings and things like that. So if you have a client and they're being crotchety, act like, oh, well, it was a land of, like, making up excuses. Like, I've done, like, little free readings on natal charts on TikTok, and I'm, like, just literally reading their rising sign. Oh, they got rising Libra. Oh, date in Aries, because that's what they say, the 7th house. I've never dated uh, maybe once in my long life that I have dated someone who like resonated with my seventh house. And it was good. It was okay. You know what I mean? But like, and they're like, oh well, I'm married, so you're wrong, debunked. And I'm like, okay, well, things change. Marriages don't last forever. People cheat, probably cheating right now. Go date what I said to date. You know what I mean? It's like it's just reading your chart, and it's not like a psychic prediction or anything. So there's a lot of people that are just like adamant about debunking other people's powers and abilities. So much so you have people like Raquel who like gang stalk and bully you. Raquel Reyes who like gang stalk and bully you and try to like do fake. It's like I know you're a lesbian. Like she called me this one time and she was like, "I'm talking to this guy. His name is Chad." And I'm like, "I bet you wish Chad was talking to you." And I'm like, if you want to call me and lie to me about fake relationships or whatever, go ahead. Like 100%. Book a reading today. You want to talk to me about a fake heterosexual relationship that you're not worthy of? Go ahead, book it. I'll talk to you for hours. You want to talk about, you want to talk about your boyfriend George Glass? I'll do readings on George Glass all day. You know what I mean? Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. You want to do readings on aliens that I mean, I believe in aliens. I just like I don't. I think they're angels. I think this is all the same thing. You want to do readings on your dogs. You want to do readings on your kids. You want to do spells on your kids. You want to do a spell on your dog. Let's do it. So that's the ninth house, like education. Like people are learning things this month, and the thing is, like, not to be a monolith and a God complex Pisces, even though Pisces is the God sign. Just what these cards are saying is like everybody else is getting hip. So, you might not be a tarot reader. You might be like a tennis instructor. You might be a golf instructor. You might be a life coach or just any job. Pull it out your pocket where people weren't believing in your abilities. You could be a basketball player, like, third draft pick. You don't have pink shoes like all the other gay basketball players, and your shorts are too short or too long or whatever it is, and then you come as the dark horse or whatever it is, and you're playing in the Super Bowl, whatever championship game, because people finally have woken up to your abilities and now believe in you. And this could be and that's the thing though too, where it's like like very much like Space Jam, like, oh crap, Saturn is going back into Pisces, but that's like I look at Saturn as being like a prison warden. I'm like, oh God, get away from me. You know what I mean? But Saturn is a coach. You know what I mean? So it's like you've been sitting on the bench. You've been playing, the coach has been playing you really hard. You've been sitting on the bench. And now the coach is like, oh, you're getting a little bit chubby. You need to get back on the court. Like, like has their eye on you. And that could be very like emotionally stressful, physically stressful. But then when it comes to like success and going to the championship game and being good at what you're doing, you might be like 5'7" or 5'3", and then you discover that you have like a jump like nobody else, like a rabbit, and you just like jump into the sky and you're slam dunking the ball all the time. And they're like, oh, this guy, he's really good at slam dunking the ball. I should have had more faith in him, or something, or 3-pointers or whatever. I don't know basketball. Is it basketball season? Somebody tell me. Um. So in the 10th house, though, uh, talking about careers or whatever, like you might have an opportunity to like work with a lawyer, work as a lawyer. There might be like an opportunity to become like a paralegal, to work with the police department. I've been noticing my local police department definitely needs a lot of help, especially with like social media and things like that, because it's like everything they're posting is just like sad and embarrassing. Or maybe the police are just sad and embarrassing people who didn't graduate from high school. You never know. Bullies. But your reputation right now, Pisces, in November is that of an authority figure. Maybe even so much, maybe you're an ICE agent, maybe you're an FBI agent or CIA or something like that, but it's like more so than the police, more so than any bully that's on your block. Um, and then the Capricorns in your life, Justice card, the Capricorns and the Libras in your life are going to be dealing with a lot of like legal issues, lawyers, and police officers, as Capricorns do dirty, filthy things. And I see in your 11th house, so if you've been feeling lonely or like having a lack of friendships or failures with technology, I know I turned my light on. I should close my window. I wanted to have my window open because I thought there'd be like crickets or something nice outside that would give some good ambient energy, but it's just people taking their trash out. What are we talking about? Okay, yeah, you've had issues with, technology, like turning your lights on or closing your window. I see what's going to help you with affirmations. The Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords talks to me about going from a rough, choppy waters to bringing safely to shore. And, if you're a sailor out on a boat, there's not really much you can do to change the weather, right? You can't like throw salt into the ocean. It's going to calm the storm or something. So what can you do? You can pray. You get down on your knees and you pray like, oh, please God, make this storm stop so I can get back to the shore. Um, and, if you're in a place like the hull of a boat, I don't know, I get this vision of like the stinky pirate boat or something, like a wooden, like, not like a cruise. Like, and it could be. I saw a video on TikTok or something of someone like peeing on the stairwell of like a cruise ship. So it could be that too. It's like if it smells bad and it looks bad around you, it's probably harder for you to have faith that things are going to get better. But that can be simply changed by using positive affirmations, using, positive words and good smells. So, backtracking to talking about doing readings on Reddit, it's really frustrating for me to do readings for people specifically from India because there's a large Indian population of people on Reddit. And it's like Six of Swords reverse, or, I did one for my friend Deck Maui, and it was like Six of Swords reverse, like you smell bad. And it's like he's Ethiopian, so it might just be like, it's their culture, it's their food or whatever. But I'm like, no, like you smell extra bad. So like whatever that is layered, there's like extra bad smells coming from you, and it's blocking your prayers and manifestations because God thinks you're stinky. So for me, it's like it's hard, but then also like I think like socioeconomics and different parts of the world, like, and I could be talking to a person in Japan and they might have some type of like spring onion cologne or green tea scented perfume on, and I'm like, oh, Six of Swords reverse, it smells bad, it's stinky, because in America we like rose and sandalwood. Whereas someone in India is like, oh, this rose perfume smells like piss, like, so it's a weird vibrational thing in the 11th house of Aquarius. Long distance travel and things like that. Like you might be thinking that you want to go to Bali, but the thing about Bali is that like, those Instagram pictures, there's no smell attached to that. Like Emerald Raghaz used to say, there's no smell-o-vision. So, when you're seeing all these pictures of like Bali and Dubai and this place and that place, or New York, for God's sakes, you know what I mean? New York, DC, like Chicago, wherever, these major, London, Paris. There's no Snapchat video that illustrates how badly those places smell, how mean or racist the people might be there, how mean and racist and stinky your friends might be when you go there. Because, like, even for me, like, I'm ignorant. I'm an ignorant. Like, I like to travel to be an obnoxious American. So, like, there's anything, like, they're like, oh, don't do that, don't put your foot on the Blarney Stone. Only obnoxious Americans do that because they know people are going to kiss it. I'm putting my foot on the Blarney Stone, okay? Like, I'm doing it. I'm at Stonehenge trying to knock it down because I'm crazy and I can't help it. Um, right? I'm in the Louvre trying to make out with the Mona Lisa. It's not for a protest. It's not against human trafficking. It's not, the human trafficking world that's connected to the art world. It's not because of colonialism. It's because destruction and chaos. Pisces, and then in our 12th house, which was our ruling house, the house of psychic abilities, miseries, secret self undoing, all those things. Sad, sad, sad house. We have the Eight of Wands. So the thing is, like, things are moving forward. Maybe there's some Pisces out there that are trying to like blue diamond a bunch of people and make them very sad, which I guess it's working. And then also for me, when it comes to Saturn being in Pisces, I'm like, oh crap, like this is a bad time for magic. It's a bad time for spell work. This is a bad time for, not a bad time for affirmations. It's probably like you need affirmations the most, but it's like delays and limitations with your affirmations. So you're like, I want a gigantic mansion, I want a gigantic mansion, I want a gigantic mansion, and then you get like a medium-sized mansion or an abandoned mansion that you got to clean out and like all this other stuff and limitations and hardships because of Saturn. And it's like you could sit back and wait until Saturn finally moves out of Pisces, or you could just like put in a little elbow grease and a little extra hard work. I also see that Pisces, with all this energy with Saturn, you might have felt like very grounded, in a good sense and in a bad sense. Like, a child and a 10-year-old child who can't go out to play for recess, and a Virgo who's sticking their feet in the mud to, do grounding and feel more balanced and sturdy in life. But I see, you might be feeling like grounded, you might be feeling stagnant, you might feel like you're not traveling anywhere. And then I see the Eight of Wands in your 12th house. So secretly, unbeknownst to you, there's like a bunch of travel plans wrapped around you. You're going to be traveling a lot. You're going to be in so many airplanes. It's going to make you sick, and like, or it's like scary because like it's scary to fly in such a high frequency of number because you're like, okay, well, like, if I go on a plane trip on vacation once a year, that plane's probably not going to crash. But if I have 8 trips by plane this year, like, the numbers are just getting too high for the probability. But I see you okay, and I don't see the death card, I don't see the Ten of Swords anywhere, but there's going to be a lot of, like, plane travel, moving quickly, maybe even, like, riding on motorcycles and ATVs and things like that for you. You might already be aware of this and are keeping it secret from people. But that's what I see what's happening in November for Pisces. Mainly, Pisces is having a battle or a struggle with sobriety, and this might be all part of it. Like, you might not want to travel because you can't bring your drugs or your addictions with you on your travels. And once you are set free from dealing with this Queen of Swords, from those addictions, you'll be more open to the idea of traveling, at least, if not already, on a plane. So thank you for joining me in this tarot forecast. I hope you were able to hear it. With my window being open and everything, and my fan being off that I'm addicted to. And I will hopefully see you in my next video. If you'd like to book your own tarot forecast, astrology forecast, tarot reading, you can do so on my website. It can be received as a phone call, text message. I prefer these videos. I think these videos are the best. There was a point in time where I was trying to and I still could do this, I just haven't had anybody request it, where it's like we do a phone call, and then I record the phone call on the video so that you can play it back later. Because, I felt like in 2020, which is 5 years ago, with a lot of my phone calls were like the most popular, like goes in one ear and out the other. And it's very easy to do that, especially if you're taking notes, like who's reading that afterwards. But having a fun little YouTube video that's all about yourself, as you probably already watch tarot reading YouTube videos, I think it'd be very helpful. And you can go back and reflect, like, oh wow, like he said this, he said that, cool. Okay, so that's my sales pitch, and that is my outro, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.